Welcome everyone to another Seating Dynamics quick class. Today we will continue a series on dynamic seating clinical indicators and talk about how dynamic seating can be used to provide movement for the clients that we work with. My name is Michelle Lang. I'm an occupational therapist in the Denver, Colorado area. Thank you very much for joining us today. So some of the clients that we work with need to move. Well, let's face it, we all need to move. I like to move. But for many of our clients, not being able to move can lead to other issues. This provides sensory input for the client. Most wheelchair frames and the seating systems in them are static. They do not move. So the only movement that's going to occur for the client is between the client and the seating system itself. If the client is moving in relation to the seating system, then they could lose contact with the support surfaces. They might lack or lose the stability that the seating system provides, and just do not have adequate postural support for functional activities. So, any of these can be an issue for a client who is in a static system and not allowed to move. Movement, we know through research, has been linked to the following. For most of us, including the clients we work with, movement allows us to increase our overall alertness level or arousal level. It can decrease agitation. It can reduce maladaptive behaviors. So some clients, when they cannot move, become very frustrated, agitated, and may engage in behaviors such as self-injury, and this is reduced when movement is available. The client may very well tolerate sitting in the seating system for a longer period of time. And this movement that's allowed within the system can actually lead to an increase in muscle strength as opposed to the body not moving at all. For some clients, being able to move can actually improve their vision. They can get their head into an orientation that optimizes their vision at that time, perhaps more readily. And movement, again, for all of us, can increase comfort, also decreasing pain, and improve our function. This young lady here is in a static seating system. She really seeks out a lot of sensory input typically, but because she can't move in the system, she's just checked out. She stops moving. She looks like she's asleep. She's really not. She's sub-aroused. Active movement using dynamic seating provides movement at the joints, and this can impact active range of motion. Now, there's not always a tremendous amount of movement that's provided at the hips or at the neck or at the knees, but it is movement, and that helps alleviate stiffness and get those joints moving somewhat. So again, lots of our clients are sensory seekers, like this gentleman here. He really needs to move. He rocks throughout his day. This provides the vestibular input that he's looking for. So he's feeling the movement, that vestibular sensation. He also is getting some proprioceptive input as he's pushing into the moving surfaces of the system. By providing movement for someone who has very strong rocking, we can also prevent the client from bouncing that chair across the room with their movement or even tipping over. This gentleman may not look like he has strong movements, but he does. He has destroyed several chairs already with this constant, forceful rocking movement. Now, there are different labels, terminology that we may hear about sensory issues in our clients. And clients who have something called a high threshold sensory processing modulation disorder actively seek out sensory input. And it's secondary to the inability to detect where our head is in space in relation to gravity. So typically, I know where my head is in space, even if my eyes are closed. I know I'm midline, I'm upright, I'm in a pretty neutral alignment here. But certain sensory issues can impact that, and the client may be driven to seek out certain movement as a result. Banging against the back of the seating system or bouncing on the seat can provide tactile, proprioceptive, vestibular sensory input. So that gives the client the feedback that they need to calm and quiet their emotional state, as well as help them physically to better maintain their posture. And that is certainly something that makes a functional difference. So, movement's really important. We all move, we all love to move, and our clients often need to move. If you're working with a client who's really seeking out movement, definitely look into dynamic seating. If you have any questions or if you want to problem solve any client scenarios, feel free to reach out to Seating Dynamics or to reach out to me directly via email. Always happy to help out and do some problem solving with you. Thanks very much.